You all arrived here from Cislodia, yes? In that case, you should depart via the south gate, rather than the one you arrived through.
After all that, Kisara never came back to see us.
I'm surprised she slipped away without us noticing. Where would she even go? I hope this place survives. You think the Danins and Renins have a chance of getting along? We didn't really do much to change things around here, did we?
This realm had its own walls to overcome. And in the end, it was the people themselves who decided to break them down, without any help from us. I hope they keep going, I really do.
Yeah, well, if you say so, I guess. Huh?
All right. I leave command of the Gold Dust Cats in your hands.
You've got nothing to worry about, Kisara. I'll do your brother proud.
Looks like it's time to go. Take good care of Zare for me. All right, Legil?
You've got it. Stay safe, Kisara.
Did you come to say goodbye?
Actually, I was wondering if you could use another companion.
Huh?
Well, we certainly don't mind you coming along. We just figured you'd stay behind and help rebuild. These people could use you.
I thought much the same thing. However, in the end, something changed my mind. Ever since Miguel died, I've been thinking a lot. About where I went wrong, what I should have done differently. You know, that sort of thing. It's true that our dream of coexistence saved many Danin lives, but we were naive and short-sighted. I was so wrapped up in my idea of how things should be that I didn't see the problems that existed right in front of us. I thought we had been given a utopia. And so I never bothered to look too far past its surface. I chose to be ignorant. And because of that, because of me, my brother...
Miguel's death wasn't your fault, Kisara.
Perhaps you're right. But in the end, it was me he entrusted this dream to. I learned that nothing in this life is free, or gained without sacrifice. Now that I know that, I'll just have to figure out what else I don't know.
So, decided to join us?
I have. And hopefully I can continue to protect Elda Menencia from outside the dream world, for the sake of those still inside.
And here I thought you joined for an opportunity on my life.
In all honesty, I'm grateful to you. I truly am. I don't blame you for what happened. But I must also leave your service. No longer will I be defined by protecting a Renin lord. From now on, when I fight to protect my dream. All I ask is that you do your part, that you fight alongside me, not just for those who used to believe in your dream, but for those that still do. Dohalim.
I understand. I'm no longer a lord anyway.
Well, this crew just gets bigger and bigger. All right, where to, team?
We make for Mahag Sar, the Valley of the Four Winds.
I'm amazed how easily you can move such a giant shield around like it's nothing.
Really? It's not actually as heavy as it looks.
It's really reassuring to have someone like you protecting us, though.
You know, I guess I never realized it before. But looking back, I've always been the sort to put myself in harm's way to protect those around me, even before I joined the Elderman and Sea Guard. So in a way, using this shield to keep you all safe feels like it's what I was meant to do.
You don't need to worry about protecting me. I don't plan on relying on you.
That's okay. It doesn't matter if you do or not. I don't protect people because they ask me to. I do it because I want to, and because I think it's the right thing to do. That goes for you too, Dohalim.
Me?
Yes. You see, you and I both want the same thing. We have the same goal. That means it's in my best interest to continue to protect and keep you safe as well. Even now.
I'm not sure how much protecting I'll need either, but I appreciate the thought. I'm sure you'll do us proud, Kisara.
Right. You can all count on me.
What was Kelzalik even after in the end?
Isn't it obvious? Clearly he wanted the throne for himself, and was gonna have his goons execute Dohalim to get it.
He had to have known he couldn't hope to defeat a lord. He should have run while he had the chance, instead of holding himself up in the palace.
Maybe he thought he couldn't run? Either way, the outcome's the same.
So he got desperate and decided to go for broke?
One might argue that he was another victim of mine, in a sense.
Huh?
There is no greater calling in life to a Renin than the crown contest, yet I refused to take part. The shock he felt at that must have been truly immense. Enough to drive him to revolt, even though doing so meant defying Renin hierarchy.
I know I've said this before, but Danans and Renins wouldn't coexist here if it wasn't for your stance.
But that was no lofty idealism on my part, nor do I feel any pride at what occurred.
Spare us the pity party. You literally just joined us to uphold those ideals.
Shion?
No, she is absolutely correct. I shall speak no more of my misgivings.
Do you sense one of your friends, Hootle?
Mahag Sar. That makes 4 out of the 5 realms that I've visited now.
I wonder what kind of lord we're gonna find there.
It doesn't matter.
I won't forgive you!
By the wait now! If they run in the sky, you gotta jump for cover, okay?
Armor won't save you!
Reload! Take you all tucked away.
Charge like that can easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop.
Kisara, frozen!
Hammer!
Mega ray! We can do it! Not in your dreams!
Pull it snap!
Do it! Well, looky here.
An opponent like this should be easy.
One more!
Demon Fang!
You're denied!
Azure
I'll
Storm!
take out the leg with my shield!
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
Barely a blip on our radar.
A fish! You saw it!
I didn't realize there was a pond here.
Yeah, this is Taka Pond. And it happened to have saved my life once upon a time.
What do you mean?
As a kid, I survived life under the past lords by escaping here when I needed to. It's terrible to swim in, but great for catching a bite for dinner away from Ren and eyes.
Bear in mind, our rations back then weren't enough to live off of. You had to take matters into your own hands if you wanted enough food to survive.
But how did you catch them? With your bare hands?
That might take a while. Fish are prone to swim away at the first sign of trouble.
I'd put bait or a lure on a line and use it with a fishing rod.
You must not be familiar with fishing if this sounds new to you. Here, let me show you how it's done.
Hey, what do you think about that spot?
Good idea. I'll go for that one. There we go. Well, it's not bad, per se.
Looks like a pretty energetic fish.
Nothing's biting. All right. Good fishers always keep their cool. All right, once more from the top. Ha! There we go. Well, it's not bad, per se.
Nice work!
And that's all there is to it.
Wow. It seems like you need to have good reflexes to catch anything. I don't know if it's really for me. Kisara? I think I've seen enough.
Oh, sorry. I guess I'm just in my own little world when I go fishing.
Looks like we're going to be here for a while.
That's how fishing goes. You wait for a bite, and then the real battle begins.
Miguel told me that different fish live in different regions, and you have to pick the right rod and lure for what you're hoping to catch.
But that doesn't change the fact it's a giant time sink.
Of course, each fish has its own unique flavor, too. And some of them are supposed to be extremely delicious.
When you put it like that, maybe it's worth me trying my hand at fishing after all.
You're just in it for the food.
I was hoping we'd get to fish during our travels. And it just so happens I made sure to grab my brother's old rod before I left Vicente. So, if you ever feel like fishing when we've got a little downtime, just let me know.
Good to hear. Thanks for showing us.
Okay!
Glacial Spear! That's it! Freeze Blazer!
It's time! Can't get out of this!
Glacial Spear! Pierce Evil!
Rising Wyvern! You're on! Dragon Swarm! This one's all mine! Ignite!
We got the advantage!
Good. Now we just have to make sure we keep it.
Don't worry, because Law's on it!
Together, that wasn't even a problem.
I'm always amazed what healing arts can do.
Just doing my job. No need to thank me.
Is it just me? Or have those two barely spoken a single word to one another?
I know, right? But after everything that happened with Miguel, is it really any wonder?
Kinda puts a damper on the whole journey though, huh? How long do you think they're gonna keep this up?
If it bothers you that much, why don't you ask them?
Why do I have to ask?
How come you walk together like that?
She really doesn't beat around the bush.
You mean Kisara and myself?
You hadn't noticed? You've been practically joined at the hip ever since we left Vicente.
I guess it's force of habit, most likely. I was always ready to protect him, should the need arise. It sort of came with the job description.
Right. From being in the Elder Menancia Guard. Although, Dohalim's pretty capable of defending himself, isn't he?
Having guards doesn't necessarily mean the one being guarded is weak. No one's perfect all the time.
Even so, it's not like they're entirely wrong, Kisara. You're no longer in my employ, after all.
I don't know. I mean, if it's what she's used to and you're both comfortable with it, then who are we to judge?
But she doesn't serve him anymore. It isn't normal for her to keep following him around like she still does.
You know, she's probably right. And a lot has changed over the last few days. I guess it wouldn't hurt to rethink our relationship in light of the new circumstances. Perhaps I'll give it some thought, after all. Does that sound all right by you?
Of course.
You might want to stop asking his permission for every little thing while you're at it.
Sorry. It's not that easy, shaking off old habits. I'll probably need a little time to get fully used to it. I've noticed that sometimes we come across enemies who fight like you, and try to dodge our attacks at the last second.
I hate those guys. I can get some hits in when they move into attack, but otherwise they slip past damn near everything else I throw at them.
If what you're seeking is a way to more reliably hit them, there is a solution.
Try to outclass them on reflexes?
I possess the ability to command Earth elemental beings to some extent. They emerge as the land itself and take root on my command. They will swiftly bind the enemies, at which point you can dispatch them.
Huh?
What he means is that he can make plants grow to hold the enemies in place. At least I think that's probably what he's saying.
I'm glad at least one of us understands him. So basically, if we find an enemy that likes to dodge, we should let Dohalim handle it.
I shall do what I can within my modest means to help.
Why are you looking at me like that?
That armor you wear is standard issue for the Menancian Guard, right?
Originally, I've added some flair to it in a lot of places.
I noticed, especially with that open back.
We guardsmen pride ourselves on never showing our back to our enemies. It's my way of making myself live up to that. Plus, it makes it that much lighter and easier to maintain.
Dohalim, do you have anything to say about this?
Every guardsman is allowed to wear their armor as they see fit.
And you, La?
Huh? Why are you asking me?
How come you don't have a scar on your hand?
A scar? What do you mean?
The Crimson Crows all tore off their own spirit cores, right? But your hand doesn't show any signs of ever having a core like theirs. Why not?
I don't know. I don't remember anything about myself from before Doc found me.
Seriously? You have that mask, you don't feel any pain, and you just happen to know how to fight with a sword? No way. You must remember something.
I'm not lying if that's what you think. Believe me, I wish I knew who the hell I am. But I don't. It's funny how I didn't have any time for soul-searching while digging up rocks in a mine.
Still.
Are you saying you've told us everything about yourself?
Zephyr.
It's bad manners to pry when you've got plenty to hide yourself.
You're not gonna ask me about my past too?
Only when I think it's necessary. You're a real man of mystery, I'll admit. That said, I'm not one to dig around in someone's business just out of curiosity. If you remember something and feel like sharing, you're free to do so. For now, I think that's good enough.
Right. Thank you. Zephyr, why aren't you concerned about who I am?
You feeling left out, son?
No, it's not that. But...
You said you wanted to fight so that you can live a free man. At this point, that's all that matters. Even if it somehow turned out you were a Renin, it wouldn't be such a big deal.
A Renin?
Until we know who you are, we can't rule anything out. Besides, we've already got Shion with us. At this point, what's one more Renin as long as they're on our side?
So you don't see every Renin as an enemy?
Our goal isn't to hunt down and kill all Renins. We only arm ourselves as much as we need to set ourselves free. If you can believe it, not every Danon agrees with what we're doing either.
Are you saying we have enemies among the Danons?
Not quite. They're just not up for rebelling, per se. The thing you have to remember is that everyone has their own path to walk.
I'm not sure I understand.
That's okay. Just focus on what we have to do right now. However, the time will come when you'll need to decide what to do for yourself.
I swear you can't walk 5 steps without tripping on a Zoogle. This is getting old.
Yeah? But wasn't it you Renins who brought the Zoogles here from Rena in the first place?
They're not just ordinary animals from Rena. Each of them has been modified to suit a particular purpose. In fact, some Zoogles were originally derived from the animals on Dana, or so I've heard.
What? You Renins couldn't stop at just the people of this planet? You had to screw with our nature too?
You can get angry all you want, but we have bigger fish to fry. So, are you going to work with me or not?
I will. It's in both of our own interests. Where the hell is Balsef? If we don't hurry up and find him...
You're too close. Try to stay farther apart.
Oh, right. Sorry about that. Was I really that close?
I guess I'm just not used to standing right next to people.
You mean because of your thorns? You're a surprisingly nice person.
What?
You don't think so? I mean, you just made sure your thorns wouldn't...
You can keep your opinions to yourself. You don't know the first thing about me.
I'm not saying I know everything about you. Sheesh. No need to bite my head off.
You just can't take a hint, can you?
What? I'm sorry. You're right. I don't know what sorts of hardships you've been through. After all, what could I possibly know about pain?
I know you didn't mean anything bad by what you said. The throne room is up on the next floor. That's probably where we'll find Balsef.
Finally, it's time to face Balsef.
Speaking of Balsef, how much would you say you actually know about him?
What do you mean? He's just a lord that holds power over Calaglia, isn't he?
Just a lord? He is far more than that. Balsef Erwolzi Teldilis is one of the 5 lords that sit atop all of Renin society. Even without his Fire Master Core, fighting him won't be easy. I've seen that man butcher who knows how many Zoogles, just to blow off some steam. With sheer brawn like his, he can knock you out with 1 hit, and it's practically suicide to go up against him when he has a weapon.
Got it. Watch out for his attacks.
That's only the beginning. You can't expect to beat him by attrition. First, we dodge, then look for an opening. Remember that.
Sounds like our teamwork is really going to be put to the test.
Indeed. Don't screw this up and get us both killed. Having second thoughts?
No, I was just thinking about the blazing sword. Whenever I hold it, I feel wrong somehow.
Is relying on a sword from a Renin Master Core that repulsive?
It's not about that. It's just... It's hard to explain. It's like the sword is almost too strong.
I don't know what's got you so worried, but in case you forgot, that sword is the only reason we have a fighting chance against a lord.
I know. You don't need to keep telling me.
Well, good. That said, the longer you use it, the more you get burned by it, too. We need to remember to patch you up quickly when that happens. A double-edged sword in every sense. Since you can't feel pain, you'll need to be careful, okay? Is that a problem? Look, I need you if I'm going to take out the lords, and I can't have you dying on me before that happens. That's my only concern. Why am I here?
Would it kill you to be a little more friendly?
I don't see how that's necessary.
Look, for the time being at least, we're working together. You don't have to make this harder than it already is.
In case you've forgotten, the two of us may be working together, but the only reason we're even teamed up right now is because our interests happen to overlap. Otherwise, why in the world would I be working with a Danon slave like...
I am not a slave! I'm not a slave anymore. Not since I chose to fight. I've left that life behind, and I'm better for it. Understand? I'm sorry for yelling. But please, don't call me that ever again. Okay?
Okay.
After all that, how can these people carry on like nothing happened? Didn't Zephyr's words reach anyone in that whole crowd?
The Snake Eyes could be anywhere. People are scared of being reported, so they can't do jack.
And speaking from experience, when you spend so much of your life as a slave, you stop even thinking of standing up and fighting. Calaglia had a lot of people like that.
Well, these people are in no position to demand anything anyway, when they've lost the will to fight and need others to protect them.
These people have had a hard enough time just keeping the fires lit. No one wants to sacrifice their life without good cause.
It is what it is. Once Ganabelt is out of the picture, things in Cislodia are sure to change.
Yeah, I hope so.
You okay? You made a weird sound.
Sorry. I was just thinking how amazing this view is.
What's the matter? Haven't you ever seen mountains and fields before?
Actually, now that I think about it, it's not every day we get to enjoy views like this.
You too?
Yeah. Calaglia has rocky landscapes, but the terrain here is completely different. Like, you see that mountain over there? Doesn't it look like a big wave that somebody turned into stone?
Right? And those ones look like the horns or claws of some giant monster. I'm surprised they managed to stay up.
Yeah. Just be thankful we don't have to pass under them.
Actually,
They won't come tumbling down that easily.
You sure about that?
Menancia harvests earth energy, which explains why the topography is so varied here. It's also why those rocks are bound to be sturdy.
So all that astral energy is also what makes this realm look so lush, then? Does astral energy really have that much of an impact on the land?
Yeah. Is that why even that mountain looks the way that it does?
The stronger the energy is, the greater impact it has on lots of things. So yes, like a great big fire.
but these imbalances are too pronounced to be nature's work. It's not how Dana would otherwise naturally look.
If it's not natural, then you mean all of this is the Renans doing?
When you put it like that, even something as nice looking as this starts to feel wrong.
That turned out good, if I do say so myself. Isara, let's talk for a bit. Maintaining your shield? It's becoming a familiar sight.
Miguel was the one who taught me how to maintain my equipment after I first joined the Guard. Now, it's just a part of my routine.
Your brother always seems to come up whenever I talk to you.
That's because we had no other relatives, so it was just the two of us growing up. He was my idol, the one I looked up to and wanted to be like. When I became a guardsman, Lagiel wasn't too pleased to see me at first. It was Miguel who really welcomed me aboard.
Lagiel? Oh, right. She was Miguel's second in the Gold Dust Cats, wasn't she?
That's right. She's always been a very critical and down-to-earth person. In other words, the complete opposite of a dreamer like me.
You're more an idealist than some pie-in-the-sky dreamer.
Even so, that's my brother's doing. He'd never let me stop seeing a brighter world. He always did what he could to keep me smiling and happy.
You must have meant a lot to him.
He wasn't just kind, either. He always worked so hard to set an example for me and everyone else around him. He was a true big brother. So much so that when he thought I was asleep, he'd slip out of the house to go training on the outskirts of town.
You seem to know a lot about it.
That's because I only pretended to be asleep and would follow after him. You know what? I'm at a good stopping point with my shield. If you've got time, how about I tell you a couple more Miguel stories?
I guess I'd better get comfortable.
I'll take watch tonight. It's okay. Before we go, do you guys have everything?
Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.
This one's tough, but we have no choice.
Let me know if you need healing.
Here I come! You're finished!
On guard! Setting flames! Back into the fray! I'm so good with airborne targets.
Got flyers!
I've got this! Let a marksman handle it!
All yours!
Watch this! I'm only getting
Take
started!
it! You're finished! We did it!
These little ones are hardly worth our time.
Less talking, more pummeling.
Cut them apart to your heart's content.
Nothing can stop me! Do it! Come on, roll it!
All yours, Kisara!
Hold up. Is this as valuable as I think it is?
Don't get careless!
Don't tell me!
What's this? Here, let me help. Airborne carve through my specialty.
Rising Wyvern!
Pesky airborne scoundrels!
Sounds like a job for your druid!
Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis!
This should make for some good weapon crafting material.
I just noticed none of you other Danans have spirit cores. Why is that?
Both of my parents were part of the resistance in Calaglia. In fact, my birth was kept a secret from the Renans.
Mine too. We always lived in hiding, so I never had a spirit core embedded in me like I was supposed to.
What about you, Alphen? You were a slave in Calaglia before all this, weren't you?
To be completely honest, I'm not sure why I don't have one. All the other Danan slaves around me did. I was the only exception. They tended to keep their distance from me to avoid attracting any attention from the soldiers, because of my mask and all. And what about you, Kisara? Do you still have your spirit core?
No. I was able to find a good Renan doctor who's sympathetic to our kind, and had them remove it before I left. They did such a great job, the procedure didn't even leave a scar.
One of the benefits of coexistence, huh?
I know that once the spirit vessel was shut down, there wasn't much need for me to hurry. But still, I didn't like having that mark of servitude lingering on me any longer than I had to. It may sound a little strange to hear me say this, but I'm just me now. Not a guardsman or a slave. I'm my own woman, and this is my chance to have a new beginning.
This sure is one rugged road. You'd think they'd keep this at least a little better maintained, right?
Why spend energy fixing that which is rarely used? Repairs require time and effort, which in our world means slaves, often in great numbers. For you, it may be a simple request, but that can quickly become another's difficult burden. Nobody gains anything without someone expending effort.
And you know, somehow that someone always ends up being a Danon, while the Renans are the ones who gain.
True enough. Ideally, in a perfect world, I think it's only fair that the ones who need it should be the ones to perform the work.
However, when doing so could be dangerous like it is here, there are many who would prefer that it be others who risk their lives in their stead.
So, what you're saying is that people will just put up with the inconvenience until someone else comes along to fix it for them?
Indeed. And it is those who can no longer bear that feeling that inevitably take action. Much like the Danons in our group do so now. As strange as it may be to hear such a thing from the likes of myself.
It's true that most of the Danons in Calaglia have been resigned to just accepting things as they are. Still, we can't just blame them for...
What are you making that face for? You're not worn out already, are you?
Nah, just regretting I ever said anything in the first place.
All right.
There's nowhere to run from my art. When he slows down, that's our chance.
It's like trying to keep up with a wall!
Want to be free. No further. On guard. Power blade. Take this. Quiver dragon.
Falling storm!
Roaching fury.
Piercing roar!
Sonic thrust. Demon fang. No further. Double demon fang.
Instant!
Demon. Fang. Destruction.
Piercing roar!
Take this. It's all. Take this. No further.
Pierce evil!
Here I come! Big blast! Lift up! Do it! Mirage!
Got some interesting moves there, Dohalim. I'm glad you're on our side.
I'm simply glad to hear that I can make myself useful to you all. Huh?
What's wrong?
We seem to have come across some rather unusual objects.
What, you mean that pile of garbage?
No mere garbage, I assure you. Still, I've never seen anything shaped like it before. I'm intrigued.
Are you curious about this stuff, Rinwell?
Yeah. I think he might have found some old Danon relics. They look like the remains of a bunch of objects that disappeared after the Renans first invaded.
And yet here I am, holding them without so much as a second thought. I imagine the sight must be unsettling to you.
Not really, just that it must be nice to be a Renan who has time to indulge in stuff like that, unlike the rest of us.
Are you interested in this stuff too, Dohalim?
Charmed may be a better turn of phrase. I simply love objects that can give me a sense of what their maker was thinking, the history that went into their creation. You see, we Renans have hardly any such objects that trace back to our distant past.
I still don't understand what you two find so intriguing about it, though.
Why not? We're talking about our own culture here.
I get that, but it's not like this stuff is any use now, does it? It's just old. Real old.
Oh, but it does. Holding it in your hands like this, one can feel and engage with the distant past in a way no history book can ever accomplish.
I'll take your word for it. Well, seeing as it's Danon history, just make sure you're careful with it. All right, Dohalim?
But of course. history in the air here. I can smell it.
I don't smell anything.
Don't encourage him.
Visibility along this path will remain limited for some time. Take care not to get ambushed.
I'm surprised you know the terrain here so well. Lords don't strike me as having much time for wandering in the woods.
Sometimes I would take strolls along here when I would...
Don't get careless!
Don't tell me!
Mega Ray!
This one's all mine! Eat dirt!
Give a heartbeat!
Flying spree!
All yours, Kisara!
Here's a healing arc!
Denied!
You're mine!
Did you hear it? I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Going in! I'll heal you
Wall
all!
dance! Here I come! Take this!
Do it!
Healing arc!
I'll stop your movement!
And I'll stop your life!
I need to be stronger.
Hey! When did I get so popular?
A freezing storm! Going in! It's a duel of the outlaws!
Do it! Demon's Descent! Flashing bang!
Here's a healing arc!
This one's mine!
First aid! Not on my watch!
Severing wing!
Rising light!
Tiger Blade! Mega Ray!
Dragon down!
Prepare to be sealed.
Let's talk some more duel!
Did you just hear me?
Yes, I need you, remember?
You see what happened there as you crossed me?
You should have done that! That's my cue!
Armor won't save you!
Shut him down!
Make it rain! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade! See that?
That training's paying off!
Rising light! I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! Eat this! No further!
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclops!
I can feel my power growing!
It's so hilly around here. I can feel my feet getting blisters.
That's mountain hiking for you. It can be pretty tough if you're not used to these sorts of trails.
I take it you're comfortable with them then?
Oh yeah, we used to run up...
Don't get careless!
Don't tell me!
You picked the wrong fight!
And just like that, I'm back in. Start by holding the front line.
No sooner said than done.
Where are you going? Right! Don't mind if I do! Go for it!
Prepare to crumble!
Think we overdid it?
Now by a long shot.
Read the enemy's arc, me!
No complaints here! What's this?
Well, we're on the home stretch now.
Don't take your eyes off the prize.
I'm quite aware without you reminding me.
Rising Lurker! Start up!
I can carve through armor! Eat this! Tiger Blade! Can't get out of this!
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclops!
None shall escape my point. Where are you going?
Swallow dance!
I feel sprightlier than before.
Right, here goes!
Glacial Spear.
This one is mine!
You picked the wrong fight!
Eagle Assault!
Demon Fang! Double
Take this!
Ready! Glacial Spear. Here's the evil. Confiscating. Free Blazer. Going in.
Lightning Thrust!
The
see about that.
Your form is captivating. I'm captivating? Your battle form is good.
We're thinning them out. Please forward. I'll admit I'm impressed. Very slight. Do it!
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclops!
We won that by a mile.
I'm like bait, ready and raring.
I'm on his
Now you see what I can do.
I'm on it!
I never miss.
I'll run you through! Burn in hell! Do it! Storm! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
See that?
That training's paying off! Rising Falcon!
Too fast! 10 seconds. I'll trip it up.
You're mine!
I'm sorry to be a bother.
We've all got enough on our plate.
Yes, ma'am.
Tiger Blade! In an instant! Impact block!
I'll heal you all.
Here I come!
We're thinning them out. Please forward. To stop you dying?
Here's a healer.
Take this! Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis.
We're in good form!
Oh, this looks nice and tough.
More Danon runes here too, I see.
What were people even thinking back then? Trying to build anything around here.
Let's dispose of the trash.
They got me full, I'll smash you!
Double demon fang!
Do it! I'll stop your movement.
And I'll stop your life! And done!
Let's keep up the pace.
Take this!
Try this! Infernal turret!
Flaming meteor! I'll finish you here and now!
Instant! Don't mind if I do.
Now
Sweet
I'm in the
dreams.
groove!
Going in. I never miss.
Be still! Rising Falcon! I'm on it!
Tiger Blade. Do it. Go for it.
Prepare to crumble!
I need to be stronger.
I sure have built up a sweat with this hike.
Rest assured.
Get lost.
Look shot!
This one's all mine!
Piercing roar!
I
hope this thing is so much for sitting this side out.
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclops!
Did it!
Yeah. Nice technique.
You want me? Come get me! I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! Swallow dance!
Rising Wyvern!
On a roll now!
Hurricane Thrust!
Make it roll!
Look sharp!
Lightning Tiger Blade!
I've still got a ways to go.
Not far enough! Going in a bind!
Here I come!
Eagle of I can carve! I'm just getting started!
Alright, coming through.
Don't
Do it. Astral energy. Full throttle. Going in. overdid it?
I'm on it!
Not by a long shot.
This one's mine! Soda! You're on!
Take it! Watch
Wall of damn! Stay still! No escape! Hurricane
Make it
strike!
rain! Eat this one!
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
What's this place here? Some kind of old house?
I'll do my best!
Freezing
Far enough!
Here I come!
Hurricane!
Let's take this! No further! Rising Wyvern! Start
Do
up!
it!
Ready up!
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone! Did it!
Yeah! Nice technique!
I'll smash you! I'm on here! We did it!
These little ones are hardly worth our time.
Less talking, more pummeling.
Cut them apart to your heart's content.
Do it! Zara! Go for it!
Prepare to crumble! I feel sprightlier than before.
Forgive you! I'll heal you all!
How do you like being pounded into shape? I'll stop your movement!
And I'll stop your luck! And done!
Let's keep up the pace! I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare the Malicer!
Rising Wyvern! Rising Phoenix!
One more!
Take this! Can't get out of this! I'm not done!
Ready to go!
One more!
Far enough! Do it!
Easy peasy. Ha hoodle.
Carve through armor! Eat dirt!
I'm ready!
First strike!
Don't mind if I do!
Take this!
This one's mine!
Mirage! Dragon Swarm! Sonic Thrust! I'll tear you apart!
Do it!
Remove!
Astral energy!
Say no more.
Swallow Blade!
One more!
I'm on a roll now!
Do it!
Steven, go to me! In an instant! Impact Block!
I'm ready for the next battle.
Let's dispose of the trash.
This one's mine!
Okay, here we go! You're mine! First strike! Lightning Blast! Take this! Here I go! In a bind? Coming through! Ha! No! Scarlet Inferno! Rising Wyvern!
This one's
Rising
mine!
Phoenix!
Easy and smelly. Yeah!
Not today!
Here it goes!
Dust to dust!
Confiscated!
Swordling Alpha!
Watch it! Lock! Get toasty!
Burn Strike!
Right, next one!
Take this!
Already on!
Far enough!
Burning Slash!
Where are you going?
Eagle Assault!
Make it real!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished.
Here's a healing art!
Rising Wyvern!
This one's mine! Make it real!
Dragon Swarm!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished.
We're in good form!
Looks like some solid equipment.